At first glance, Vigilante 8 might seem like a twisted metal clone, but it's not. It's a Mortal Kombat clone. Yes, Vigilante 8 is a fighting game on wheels. You boot V8 thinking it's a cool game to play with a good friend or a family member, and days later you're doing combos, special moves, zoning, and even fatalities. But some, you ask, where's Vice City? Where are the views? Where's
sports car? Where's Barbara with big
Vice City is next, kids. But before we go back to the 80s, we gotta make a quick stop in the 70s.
Let's get on with the mission,
This is the Rattler. Is all we need to do our first whammies. That is, when you hit a character with 2 or more weapons at once, and it will be easy to practice when chassis specials make sure the enemies are not going anywhere. Now that you know how to do damage, you need to learn how to defend yourself. The Rattler might be a feisty little beast, but it has low health. Always engage the enemies when they're alone, look out for the shoot pickup, and finish them as fast as possible. Our rival, Beeswax, is approaching. Don't let him do too much of that. If you hear swarm, accelerate. This sound design choice is extremely important. It might sound a little cheesy and sometimes cringy what the characters say, but it's a smart way of keeping the player aware of what's going on. Never attack him without a green shield. While you wait for him to deplete his special weapon, shoot the windmills. The blades will fly towards the enemy and do some damage. After he's done, we're done. Chassis is done. With her Vigilante days, that is, and goes to Hollywood to focus on her acting career. Yes, each character has their own CGI ending, and we're going to do them all. Some of them intertwine and become a mess once you realize that the last characters you unlock are placed first in the ending's timeline, so do them in order. On hard.
School's out, and so are you!
The problem with bigger characters is often their lack of speed and ginormous size of their hitbox. And Model has both to spare. The school bus, yes, the one from the commercial.
Holy sh!
The weapon we want is the interceptor missiles. Oh, are we a bigger target? Just hit up, down and machine gun to deploy our countermeasures. Are we too slow to catch up? Hit up 3 times a machine gun to activate the after button. Hear that? That means it worked, and that means you don't have enough ammo for that combo. And like a grappler, once we close, we're golden, either by slamming into them or by using his special weapon, the smoke check. It stops the enemy dead on his tracks, and believe me, that there will be. Look at the amount of damage. Yes, Sid will be pleased. The purpose in Molo's life is to be noticed by Senpai, Sid burn, and to do that we have to destroy a bunch of stuff. This game has objectives, and you have to do them all to unlock other characters. Molo himself is not available right from the beginning. I'm just playing as him for continuity. This diagram shows who unlocks who. Sheila is approaching, and so are we. Just shoot up before the fight. Her special weapon's a little annoying. But why is Molo simping so hard for this Sid guy? Because Sid is the man. Sid was hired by the oil giant Omar to incite a crisis on the fuel market. 100 million. Jesus Christ, what could justify this amount of money, this amount of damage? Unlike Molo's mock check, the breath of fire is perfect to do some whammies. Tate's quest line is a fast and burning trip that ends appropriately in the oil fields of New Mexico. There's nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. This map is gritty, ugly, merciless, and I love it. With no lack of pickup items, things can change really fast on this one. Grab the items close to the pipes, go up the oil tankers before destroying them. There's a lot of goodies up there. Once you gear up, destroy the vigilantes and wait for their leader, Convoy. Sorry kid, do you realize how fucked you are, old man? His special weapon won't hit you if you keep moving. Just turn down the volume because of the damn thing overlapping. Music to my ears. On this version of the 70s, the authorities are not being able to handle all the crime in the big cities, so extra force from small towns is sent to the metropolitan areas, leaving more reclusive parts of the country without any protection. This sparked a surge of vigilantism, and that's what this game is all about: vigilantes versus coyotes. Instant karma, right? Well, it gets worse. Of course, our character with a crippling gambling addiction will start his quest in Vegas. I mean, Casino City. Gorgeous looking stage, a lot of stuff to destroy, a freaking zeppelin for you to fly. But if you're fighting more than one enemy, the chances of you actually going somewhere before they destroy the damn thing is 0 to none. There are collectibles in the water and you'll be safe there from roaming weapons. Just be careful, the enemies can hide there too. This is the Beeswax, John's special weapon. I don't know, am I doing something wrong, or his special weapon supposed to be like that? If so, why? Oh, and of course we cannot use it in the air, but fear not, although the Beeswax is not that good, the Jefferson is excellent, well balanced overall. For someone who likes to gamble, his car is the safest a bet can be. But hey, we can always double our chances. And since we have such a bad special, why not look for the weapons multiplier? It makes whammies twice as deadly. Here comes Boogie. His special weapon juggles you into the air, so keep your distance. Unlike the swarm that follows you around, Boogie needs to be close to you to use his special weapon, so for once, the Beeswax is actually useful.
You're just making the lady mad.
Here, the plot thickens. Some characters are not one-directional. Houston is a cyborg under the control of Omar. With no memories, just orders. She's helping the coyotes and keeping an eye on Sid for the corporation. But through her quest, she starts doubting her motives.
Why am I doing this?
Her special weapon is the Death Ray and is exactly what it sounds like. You can't hide from her. She shoots through walls. This thing even has a chance of removing power-ups. She whammies like a charm, is fast and is easy to control. Even tricky items like the bullseye rockets are easy to hit. One of their combos is up-down-down machine gun, the Roadrunner, that does this. I don't use it a lot. I use the Stampede. Up, down, up machine gun. Yeah, that's the stuff. This is also the fastest moving basic weapon in the game. Once you get the hang of this weapon, you see how devastating things can be. Sometimes the auto-aim refuses to change to whom you actually want to hit. Sometimes it will target a character that's not even on the screen and not the truck that's right in front of you. So having something that you aim yourself is useful. In no time, we're at the end of our quest, in a map that fits her car like a glove. The aircraft graveyard, with huge straight roads for you to build a lot of speed, hide spots for you to take over from oncoming fire, and of course, secret places that will help you turn around the odds in your favor. Just beware of the planes. What's good about fighting Clyde is that he will waste all his special weapon right away. You see, bosses spawn with a lot of ammo for this special weapon. Some of them take an entire year to deplete everything. But since Clyde's weapon has such a high fire rate, just grab a shield and wait for him to throw it all away. He's just way too stupid to stop. Boogie is a coyote. When he's not shaking booty, he's committing crimes.
Let's talk about the Disco Inferno in 1998.
Yes, the Disco Inferno. The disco ball whammies machine that if you have a bruiser cannon, once they're at your mercy, hit down up machine gun. Boom, that's the buckshot. I grew to love this combo more and more, even implementing it on normal whammies. The cowpuncher with its down machine gun sends the enemies flying away, but I'd rather do some sweet damage. Well, not always. The true beauty of this game is that spamming stuff won't get you far. Using the weapons by themselves in their standard form is not always the best way to approach a situation. You have to consider the distance, how much ammo you have, the enemies drawing towards or away from you. You have to consider their health, your health, if they have their special weapon or not. That's why they're easy to see from a distance. There's layers upon layers of depth of this game's combat system. It's easy to make a game of cars with guns, but V8 encourages you to keep adapting new strategies to polish your gameplay. No car is perfect, no car is complete garbage. Of course, some are better than others, and that's how things should be. Maps set different themes to keep things subtle or to make things even more violent. Take Boogie's last map for example, the Hoover Dam. This is a map that everywhere you go take you back to its center. If you go grab some items, if you make a mistake, chances are you end up here in the lower level. And I would love this map even more if there were more items in the middle. Most of the times you see enemies, they're trying to move away from the center to collect stuff, but I always have fun playing here. Boogie faces John as his last boss, and John is pretty easy. His weapon will be more dangerous in an area with more environmental hazards, but not here. The house wins, motherfucker. Oh, never mind. Speaking of levels that force you to a certain area, this ski resort is hell for super heavyweights like Convoy. The only advantage you would have here going downhill should be avoided. You have to protect the condominiums. With Vigilantes, you have to protect certain buildings, and with Coyotes, you have to destroy them, and this is a double-edged sword. In one hand, you can simply destroy the enemies and be done with the level, but you end up being limited to only one part of the map, because you tend to avoid going near places that you have to protect. The more enemies you have to fight, the more apparent this issue gets, and playing as Coyotes is the opposite. The further you go into your quest, the higher the chances of you doing your objectives without even noticing. And although I know this makes you play different on each faction, Vigilantes play by the rules they created themselves. This means you have to be at least a bit careful, and Coyotes play like bad guys, careless. And this brings an interesting dynamic, but it can get annoying. Like the missions were revamped for better in the sequel, so was the ski resort. Avoid the avalanche, destroy the trees to cause one yourself, get hit with instant karma. Try to take the lift to grab some items and realize you can ride anything on this game without the goddamn thing blowing up. But kudos to the designers, they made a level that forces a heavyweight to be defensive. Here you drive really slow, you're better off with defensive items like the shield or the radar jammer. This will give you better chances to avoid constant roaming fire like the mortar or missiles, while you save your own to counter specials like Beeswaxes or Lokis. And Convoy's own special helps little to nothing on your offense. What does he say? I don't know. What does this weapon do? Whatever the fuck it wants. It's supposed to track the enemy down, but instead of that, it goes apeshit and starts flashing around the stage. At some point, it will explode, but if it does that close to your enemy or not, it's completely luck-based. I might be painting a bad picture of Convoy to you, but don't get me wrong. It's just on this level. Sid's his last boss, and we can send him flying to the moon easily. What could possibly justify putting up with this? A Gatling gun that pushes around bigger enemies like they're nothing, strip them of their weapons and do tons of easy whammies. With the lowest armor in the game, Sheila, Convoy's niece, is all about waiting for the right moment to move in, but when you do, go for the kill, because the Strider won't be able to put up with a lot of abuse. Repair your car at every chance you get. Ranges will spawn where the other power-ups do, in some special places, so be sure to keep an eye out for them, because the enemies will do the same. But don't worry, they don't don't search with their eyes. Oh no, their ancestors will guide them, telling them not to pay attention to what their deceiving sight tells them. When they're dying, they'll go into defensive mode and start following a path to where the power-ups are located. This is a great way to find out stuff in levels you are not familiar with. Just follow them in their dying state, but don't forget, they will be more aggressive with their health full. And also remember, especially with weaker characters, the enemies are not the only thing that can damage you. There's environmental hazards that do a good chunk of damage, and others that are flat out ridiculous. Yes, I'm talking about the boulders in the Canyonland. What's fun about this level is that you can drive around some actual roads and have some badass chases. I know you're supposed to stay here and something will pull you up, but I'm never here when the magic is happening. Oh, Molo, poor Molo. He is dangerous in the hands of players, but when controlled by the CPU, oh poor thing. Even though the enemies have extra health when they appear as bosses, Molo is an easy kill. This Mad Max inspired Sheila is so badass, fits the setting perfectly. Her car, the plot about few, even feels like the first movie when society is in the brink of collapsing and law enforcement is losing control. If you know this game, you know what's up. From the beginning, Clyde shows discontent on helping the Vigilantes. It doesn't help that Convoy forced him to join by confiscating his truck, and what a truck it is. I think this is the very best car for beginners. With all cars, you can use the handbrake to turn faster and fine-tune your aiming, but with Clyde, that's irrelevant. His special weapon is extremely easy to use. You just have to see if the hit confirms to hit them again. The white lightning stalls the enemy's car, so after you hit the first one, the others are free. But if you don't want to risk it, grab the mines. Hit left, right, down, and machine gun. Once you hear the bear hug mine activating, it's free real estate. The mines might look useless at first, but as long as you don't lay them in paths you usually take, you'll be fine. The bear hug can help you hit specials, combos, your own body against theirs, but if you want something less technical, more damage focused, or just want to get rid of all the mines, left, right, up, and machine gun. This will release the cactus patch. But don't take this as just a throwaway combo. Although it's really difficult to do whammies with the mine, the more you understand the paths and behavior of your opponents, the more you grow to love them. Especially with characters like Clyde. He fights Houston as his last boss, and that's relevant on his quest mode. You learn that he was planning a coup to take the Vigilantes for himself, but after putting Houston's bracelet, he becomes the leader of Coyotes instead. Joe invites Dave to join the Vigilantes. Together, they pursue the thugs to Arizona. Oh, the 70s where any idea was a good idea. And Dave is not looking for justice, for money, or an asshole. He's after the aliens. He has been after them for years. And now it's time to meet them and introduce them to everyone else by force. The invasion worked more or less like the swarm, but do more damage. Dave is all about harassing people from across the map, but you can get a little closer. He has the armor for that. Just lay back, relax, and enjoy the ride. Like the character himself, his gameplay is really chill, and where his quest ends makes things even more fun. What if I told you there's a land where special weapons are plenty? What if I told you there's a land where special weapons are free? What if I told you there's a land that to collect a ton of special weapons, all you have to do is
follow the damn train, CJ!
You can pile up a lot of ammo and unleash the aliens. Of all stages in this game, this one has my favorite look. This game was rated teen, but I bet the original idea was him and the aliens hitting a blunt.
I see lights in the sky.
He was a test pilot inside 4 and just went insane after being released. Now all he wants is to fly an alien aircraft again. The reason why some characters got their hands on advanced weaponry is because they raided a government facility in the intro cutscene. That was Site 4. Loki might be crazy, but I just can't hate him, so let's help him take that flight that he needs so much. This is another character that you want the mines. His special is kinda hard to hit. I expected more from actual warheads, but hey, we take what we can get. He ends at the same level as Dave, so we'll have a ton of them to launch. Just don't run around with your special weapon selected. You might accidentally change for something anything else. Beware, the enemies drop stuff when they die too. I like grabbing some ammo with Loki and fire at enemies from above. Vertical levels are way more fun with him, like the Ghost Town, the Ski Resort, or the Sand Factory. This is an unlockable level and there are no quests that take place here, so just take it for what it is. A test area for the devs. It's no surprise it's weirdly unbalanced, but it's pretty fun. How to turn tables, right? Well, don't let Dave bully you, and remember to defend yourself. Why the Alien is also playable, but he has a quest line only in the N64 version. Yes, there's an N64 version. There's even a Game Boy version for that matter. Simple, but I kinda like it. I would love to have this when I was a kid, and also have some good audio samples. Oh yeah, the level I showed you earlier is also N64 exclusive, and I know it was satirical, but I have a blast playing here. But I don't enjoy my time playing as Y. He's a character that's unbalanced on purpose, and I can see the appeal of that, but the fact I don't even have to try to win just takes the fun away from me. But hey, you can play as an alien with the hardest hitting special in the game that has the fastest vehicle in the game that somehow also runs on gas. His quest ends in the secret base, and there's another saucer here. This is like the aircraft graveyard, but on steroids. It's a shame it's only playable in Y story and arcade mode. I would love to have some objectives here. Beeswax. I love playing as Beeswax. I won't sell him as a great character, but I'd be lying if I say I don't have tons of fun playing as this man, especially on how easy it is to do combos and whammies while his special is juggling enemies in the air. One of my favorite items in this game is the Sky Hammer. It's a normal mortar, but if you hit down down up machine gun, you do a crater maker. And surprisingly for that era, it actually does make craters. This thing has a huge area of effect and it's easy to hit bigger targets, but if you hit them with the swarm first, boom, the turtle turnover is the other combo for the mortar. It's more useful for characters you want to stand still and get close to, but the swarm is fast, while it stops the enemies so you can pick your shots a lot better. Beeswax went insane after his farm got irradiated by the government. He's another character that you can sympathize with, besides being a coyote. And he gets even madder when he sees his hometown was turned into a ski resort, and I would also believe it if they turned my hometown into this fucking stage. And we end our journey where we began, Beeswax vs Chassis in the Valley Farms. Avoid the canals, destroy the windmills, lose your fucking mind trying to get to those ranches, give up, die, try again, enter the canals by accident, get hit by the wave, die again. This is a slow level, but I like it for some reason. It might be the oranges, that silent exploding animation, or simply the fact that you can shoot the windmills. And I appreciate this level way more as a coyote, because as a vigilante I'm just doing laps, trying to avoid stuff so they don't get destroyed. Now just don't stand in front of Chassis, and you'll be safe from her gridlock. Yes, the coyotes took a heavy hit. One of them died, one of them is being dissected alive as we speak, but Omar is still a thing. Even the undercover FBI agent said screw it and went acting instead. So we accomplished almost nothing. Yeah, but who the hell told you we wanted to? Thank you for watching, and a special thanks to our patrons that helped me to finish this video way sooner than I would. See you in Miami, kids.